Simply walking down the street is becoming way too dangerous in the St. Louis area. New numbers for the St. Louis region reveal some frightening statistics. Investigative reporter Lauren Traeger examines a spike in the number of pedestrian deaths and why some victims' family members say more must be done.
What should be a simple stroll to work or to the store can turn deadly in just seconds. There were more than 720 crashes between cars and people on foot or bike in 2015 in St. Louis and St. Louis County. Pedestrian deaths statewide rose 30% in just one recent year. In St. Louis, experts say the number of people dying on the street is 3 times the national average. Just stats. For Raquel McCollum, her son.
I just want justice, so my baby can rest in peace, so I can find some closure.
The details of the crash almost too horrific to imagine.
They was walking on the sidewalk, minding their own business. They didn't even see it coming.
A car jumped the curb and crashed into Jermaine and his girlfriend in Wellston in 2015. The woman driving pinning Jermaine against the pole.
She cut my son in half. My son died facing her car, looking up at the sky.
But while the driver stayed on scene, Raquel says she has no closure.
But I wanted her to pay for what she did. That was reckless.
Tiffany Stanfield feels the same.
I will never lose hope. I will never lose hope for justice for Jamaica. I will not.
Her sister, Jamaica Stanfield, was killed as she crossed Grand in North City in April last year.
She was murdered. Not by a gun, but by a vehicle. You left her there. She was murdered.
The driver fled the scene.
Who does that? Who does that?
Tiffany says police and prosecutors know who did it, but say there isn't enough evidence to charge them. We sat down with St. Louis County Prosecutor Bob McCullough, whose office reviewed Raquel's son's case.
It's just a horrible set of circumstances resulting in this tragedy.
The driver that killed Jermaine said she had to swerve to avoid another car. She wasn't on the phone at the time, though she was speeding 14 miles over the speed limit. McCullough says it was investigated thoroughly, and he says the case simply isn't a high-level crime under Missouri law.
I have to prove that they were acting recklessly, and when we look at all the evidence, it does not support that.
It's tough for prosecutors who have to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. He says sometimes accidents are just that. The laws, McCullough says, are strong enough.
I don't think that we're doing enough.
Taylor March works for Trailnet and helps track pedestrian and bike safety issues. He says new laws and other initiatives can help save people's lives. He says part of the problem, the region has wide roads, often with few crosswalks. Pedestrians left with no choice but to cross dangerously. Trailnet wants changes in the region and in Jeff City to ensure safety.
These are all people, these are all individuals, and everyone has the right to walk and bike and drive safely.
That's something these grieving women both know all too well, both pleading for others to come forward.
Someone knows something.
Desperate for their own loved ones and for others who might feel this pain in the future.
Lauren, I just can't let this go. I just can't let this go.
Experts say one of the #1 problems is speeding. People almost never survive if they're hit with a car going faster than 40 miles per hour. If you are walking, do it defensively. Find a crosswalk, for example, even if it takes you a little bit longer. And whether you're walking or driving, don't be distracted. For News 4 Investigates, I'm Lauren Traeger.